Good morning, YouTube. It is Sunday, not Saturday again, but I got a good excuse this week. It was my birthday celebrations yesterday, so didn't quite have time to get everything done. And I did want to devote a little bit of time to this because this was my question, actually, that I wrote into Wendy about. So the question for this past week has been, did you have food issues before your weight loss surgery? Was it a way of dealing with emotional trauma, stress, or even celebration? Have things changed since having your weight loss surgery, and did it make you confront the issue? So for me, yes, absolutely. The reason why I wanted to introduce the subject is because I did have a lot of food issues when I was a kid, and even up until my surgery. And mine were a little bit different. So it's funny because my story is very similar to Jennifer's, in that I wasn't put on diets when I was very young, but I was made to feel bad about my weight. And this was when I was not even overweight as a little kid. And of course I was also on prednisone for asthma, which can make you gain a little bit of weight, but nothing serious. Anyhow, I was teased very badly for this, and it kind of continued on and became like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I think part of the reason why it became a self-fulfilling prophecy was because of dieting. Because dieting kind of teaches you an unhealthy way to be with food. So when I was in 7th grade, that's when I first started dieting, and I can't even remember what it was. It was some bizarre thing. My parents were dieting also at the same time. My dad was like on a cabbage soup thing, and then me and my friend found a diet that was like, you have a hot dog, you have like tuna and saltines for lunch, and blah blah blah, and have a cup of ice cream with your dessert for dinner. I don't know, some crazy thing. And then in 8th grade, actually, I started becoming bulimic. And it's funny how it happened, because I can tell you to this day, I know exactly how it happened. Is that we were reading an article in like 17 magazine or something about bulimia. And I thought, oh, hey, we just had a slice of chocolate cake. Why don't I try that? And it was like, wow, I can still eat the chocolate cake, but I don't have to have it go to my waistline. Like that was like an epiphany for me, and I kind of ran away with it. And it's funny because I got a lot of sort of negative reinforcement from my mom, unbeknownst to her. She didn't really know what was going on. And in the meantime, when I started losing weight, because I was throwing up everything that I was eating, she was giving me like positive reinforcement for losing the weight. Oh, it's so great, let's go shopping. And she didn't know that the weight loss was coming from a very unhealthy place that was damaging me. Yeah, and so, like, how did things change after surgery? It's funny because I think for a long time, eventually the bulimia started becoming something that I used to deal with stress. When I was, like, in very stressful times, I would binge eat, and then I would purge. And it's funny because I got counseling for this at one point, and I told her exactly how it went down, because I would do it repeatedly. So I'd binge, then I'd purge. And then I'd have more room in my tummy, so I'd eat again, and I'd throw up again. And I could do this up to 3 times. And if you could imagine the kind of damage you could do to yourself by doing that, it's horrific. And she said she had never really heard about that before, but it's dealt with sort of through, it's covered by a lot of HMOs, because it's considered addictions counseling. Because the act of doing that actually sends endorphins to your brain, right? Because obviously your body thinks that there's something wrong with you, you're sick. And so to compensate for that, it makes you feel better. It sends you like good, happy brain chemicals. And in a way, it kind of like knocks you out and calms you down after. And so whenever it would be like times of very high stress, it would kind of come back to that. After my surgery, it's funny because it completely got rid of the issue, because I could no longer do that. The way that my new stomach was, and I didn't have an RNY stomach, I had an MGB stomach, which is like a tube, a tighter, small tube, and it can only hold 2 tablespoons. If it's past 2 tablespoons, you can try as hard as you want. Nothing's coming out. It's already past the precipice and going into your intestines. So it was like it was a useless endeavor. It became a useless endeavor. Not to say that I didn't revert to it a couple times, but I did. But it kind of controlled the whole issue because my whole relationship with hunger and food and amounts of food changed completely. And so it kind of made it a moot point. It completely got rid of that issue. And when I think about if it made me confront the issues that were causing the unhealthy relationship with food to begin with, I think part of that too, because the way that I think about weight and weight loss and health has changed to a healthier relationship through the journey that I've been through with my weight loss surgery. I hope that makes sense to everybody. So, even though I do have stress still, maybe I deal with it differently. I can't use food as a crutch for that to deal with issues anymore. So in that way, weight loss surgery completely changed my unhealthy relationship with food. And I will forever be grateful to that. Anyhow, hope everybody has a good week. Sorry for sending this to you a day late. Birthday celebrations, you know how it can be. Anyhow, have a great week, guys. See you next week. Bye.